Hello everybody, my name is James, hope you're doing well and welcome back to another video. And today we're going to be talking about the severe penalty George Russell got at the Monaco Grand Prix, as well as some comments from Lewis Hamilton. If you enjoy the video, make sure to leave a like and subscribe for more Formula 1 content. Also make sure to follow me on X at James's Pit Lane, I'll leave a link in the description, but let's jump straight into the video. Now overall, I'd say it wasn't the most exciting Monaco Grand Prix. I mean, that's what you expected Monaco. It's a very difficult track to pass due to the narrow nature of it. And yeah, as I say, not a huge amount going on. I do appreciate F1 and the FIA introducing this two pit stop rule to try and make the action more exciting around Monaco. I thought it was a really good idea, but unfortunately, it just didn't work. And what it really resulted in was teams playing the team game almost. So one driver slowing up the cars behind because they knew they could, because it's so hard to overtake, and allowing their teammate to go off into the distance and get an advantage when it comes to the pit stops. And we saw this with Williams, and in the final fight for the points, Russell was frustrated by Williams driver Alex Albon, who had been driving slowly to create a gap for teammate Carlos Sainz, who was ahead of him to pit into. And then on lap 50, Russell cut the Nouvelle chicane to pass Albon, stating on the radio he had to avoid a collision after what he said was erratic driving from the Williams driver. But instead of giving the position back, Russell decided he would rather take the usual 10-second time penalty so he could try and put out a gap and stay ahead of Albon. And we heard Russell say on the radio that he'd rather take the penalty than give the position back, and that shows how frustrated he was getting in the Monaco Grand Prix. But the FIA race stewards had different ideas, as Russell's radio message proved to them that he deliberately passed Albon off track, and therefore the stewards handed out a much harsher drive-through penalty for Russell. The verdict said, car 63 left the track at turn 10 and overtook car 23. He did not give the position back and maintained his track position. It was clear from the radio message, where he said that he would take the penalty, that the overtake was done deliberately, as he felt he was being held up by car 23 driving erratically. Anticipating that situations such as this might happen at this Monaco Grand Prix, all the teams were informed before the race by the race director that the stewards would look carefully at a deliberate leaving of the track at turn 10 to overtake a car or a train of slower cars. That communication also made it clear that the guideline penalty of 10 seconds may be insufficient for this deliberate infringement, and that the penalty applied may be a greater penalty than 10 seconds. We therefore considered that car 63's deliberate infringement warranted a drive-through penalty, and we so imposed. But let's move on to Lewis Hamilton, who's spoken about the penalty received in Monaco qualifying. Now, I wasn't able to do a video after qualifying because I was away, but I thought I'd cover it now because Hamilton qualified P4. The penalty got moved him down to P7, and that made his Grand Prix a lot more difficult because, as I've said, it's so hard to overtake in Monaco. So what happened then? Well, Max Verstappen was on a push lap as he encountered a slow-moving Hamilton through Massenet. Hamilton had moved to the inside, but the stewards noted that he had moved into the racing line of car 1, entering turn 3, which caused the Red Bull driver to abandon his lap. So why did the incident in qualifying happen? Well, there was confusion over the Ferrari team radio between Hamilton and his race engineer, with Hamilton having been told that Verstappen was on a slow lap rather than a push, which had caused him to return to the racing line. And Hamilton explained that technology was the culprit in that moment, with him being quoted by Planet F1 as saying, basically there was some sort of issue with the computer screen, so it said that Max was on a lap, and then it disappeared and said he wasn't. So that was the information they gave me. They told me he was on a lap, so I moved to the side. I was completely out the way, and then I guess for them, they realised he wasn't on a lap. So then they told me that, and so I started to accelerate. I stayed fully to the left, and I wasn't on the racing line. But of course it was distracting Max. But that's going to be the video from me today. Thank you ever so much for watching. Make sure to like and subscribe for more videos, and until the next one, take care. Bye.